Welcome back. All eyes of the economic world are on the Qatari capital today. The biggest oil producers are there striving to come up with a plan to stem a global surplus of so-called black gold, which has hit both prices and oil economies hard. But despite high hopes, there are still those threatening to put a spoke in the wheel. RT's Paula Sleer joins us live now from Doha. Paula, thanks for joining us. What are the prospects then of a deal at this stage?
Well, at this stage, the formal proceedings have not yet even begun. There are negotiations taking place around the wording of the document. As you can well imagine, the atmosphere is charged with anticipation, although I think it's fair to say, and I have had the same sense asking delegates, that it is relatively friendly. We have seen delegates leave the conference hall, huddle in little groups, go back in. Right now they're meeting with the emir, and what we understand is that following that meeting, we'll see the formal proceedings taking off. Iran is not here. Iran has said that there is no point for it to come to the summit because it will not sign off on anything that is agreed here. Iran's position, of course, is that because of sanctions, it needs first to reach pre-sanctions oil production levels before it can agree to any kind of freeze. However, I did speak with the Ecuadorian representative to OPEC, and he said that with or without Iran, he is confident that a freeze agreement will be reached today.
I would prefer Iran to be here, but they have reasons to not to be here. Of course, the decision will be taken even if Iran is not here. Up to now, we couldn't initiate the normal meeting because still they are negotiating the wording of the declaration.
From what we're hearing, Saudi Arabia has made last-minute changes to the draft. Saudi Arabia is insisting that all OPEC countries agree to a freeze, which would see them keep production levels at January levels. However, of course, this puts them on a collision path with Iran. Take a listen.
OPEC and non-OPEC members should accept the reality of Iran's return to the oil market. If Iran freezes its oil production at the February level, it means it cannot benefit from the lifting of sanctions.
If all major producers don't freeze production, we will not freeze production. If we don't freeze, then we will sell at any opportunity we get.
Kuwaiti representatives have also said that they're very positive that a freeze agreement will be reached today. What we understand is that this agreement will then be in place until the 1st of October, following which there could be a meeting held in Moscow. What is also significant is the fact that this meeting is taking place in and of itself. You have here both OPEC and non-OPEC members like Russia and Mexico who have come together around the negotiating table because they do understand that something needs to happen to address the declining oil prices that have been happening for the better part of 2 years.
Many thanks to RT correspondent Paula Sleer, bringing us the very latest from that OPEC meeting that's occurring in Qatar. Now, Saudi Arabia keeps claiming that the low oil prices are, quote, not its battle, but the battle of those who suffer from them. However, some figures indicate a different picture. In 2015, the economy of the biggest global oil exporter suffered a record annual budget deficit of around $98 billion. And the forecast for this year is not much more optimistic. That's forced the government to resort to cuts and finance reforms. The tumbling cost of oil has also triggered a surge in the price of water, electricity and fuel. And it's not only Saudi Arabia that's been hit by low oil prices. The crash has left up to 70,000 Americans out of work. In Canada, suicides in oil regions have surged by up to 30%. And in the UK, up to 65,000 jobs have gone in the industry, while Russia has suffered from a severe devaluation of the ruble.